Today you join us at A12 Lakes. Oh, I like doing that. I'm still doing it. Today, no, that's too much now. So today you join myself and Joe at A12 Lakes in Chelmsford. This is going to be our home for the next 24 hours.
Not here specifically. Our bibbies are actually right over there.
What are we doing here?
Intro.
Should we get around?
Yeah.
Better?
Well, after a rather stressful journey here, one that took me 5 hours, should have been just about 3, and yourself I think was just as long.
It was about 4 for me and it should have been 2, so.
We did eventually get to the swims, which we booked through 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. We're pegs 6 and 7 on the road bank, and just as we got here, we'll go on to what we're doing right now in a second, but when we got here, the heavens opened, so the first port call was to get everything up as quick as possible and shelter, but then it was a case of trying to find out exactly what was in front of us.
Yeah, so we had a good marker around just to see if we could feel anything different, and both basically came to the conclusion that it's very silty, and that's about it. So we've both kind of picked distances that we're happy with. I'm fishing at 16 wraps. Were you at 13?
Yeah, 13. Like I said, there wasn't much out there, so I just thought, well, I'll just go with 13 then.
Yeah,
no particular reason.
So we both picked our spots. I put a little bit of bait out. Have you put bait out?
No, just put the rigs out with little mesh bags. I was just putting the
rigs out. And then, yeah, I've only put probably 1 kilo of bait because where I'm fishing a bit further than Joe, I wanted to put a little bit out in case I find that I'm getting loads of liners at some point along the way. So the last thing I wanted to do is put loads of bait out and then think that, well, I'm fishing past the fish because it does seem that they come quite close here. So that's kind of why I've done that. But I'm using a couple of different methods. All 3 rods are on helicopter setups. All 3 rods are on Ronnies. Don't judge me. I wanted something that's quick and easy and practical because we've got limited time, especially after our longer drive as well. So 3 Ronnies, but 2 of them are on cork dust pop-ups, and they're matching exactly what I'm putting out. One of them is on a 𝗲𝗵𝗵𝗏𝗏 pop-up, and the idea of that is that's my right-hand rod. I'm in the right-hand side of the swim, and then that way, if I see anything show anywhere towards my right, because it's a relatively empty lake at the moment, that I can put a single 𝗲𝗵𝗵𝗏𝗏 pop-up straight on that in the hope to try and nick an extra bite. You've done it slightly different, haven't you?
Pretty much. Gone with my trusty 𝗲𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 rigs. I've got one which is more of a standard hair rig, and just put little mesh bags out and ping them out to start with just to see if there's anything there. That's all 6 rods out between us, and within about 30 minutes, all 6 rods were back up against the bibbies because we didn't have any fish. But I took the drone in to get some shots of the lake so you could all see the lake from an aerial perspective, and it became very apparent there was a lot of the stock of this lake about this far under the surface, about 2 swims down. So that's exactly where we are right now. Both got adjustable zigs out, trying to have at least one from the masses that are in front of us.
Yeah, it'd be nice to start the session with a fish, and definitely.
Before we carry on, a massive thanks to 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 for sponsoring this video, because as you'll see throughout, we are using solely 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 kit. More on that later on in the video.
Well, we're back in our original swims, and I say original, but we haven't really fished them that much today, so we gave it a couple of hours down there. We were both using zigs, both using slightly different tactics of zigs, where Curly was using a little bit of foam, I was using a little cork dust pop-up, and it just wasn't working. We tried different depths, we tried kind of different distances, but we just couldn't get them going, and the weather's changed quite dramatically since we were down there. We were down there in t-shirts, and nice and warm, sun was out, and now it's become all overcast, the wind's picked up a little bit, so we thought we'd actually get them out on the deck. There's a bit of bait in both of our swims. We've had it out there for a little while, so hopefully by putting hook bait over, might result in a quicker bite, but you never know. Well, this is the final rod going out, and I'm going to put it back down to where we were fishing for them on the zigs, because there are obviously numbers of fish down there. Whether they were taking the zig or not is kind of irrelevant. The fish were there, so I thought by using the 𝗲𝗵𝗏𝗏𝗏 single, you never know, it might lead to a bite. Well, that's been quite a slow day, hasn't
Hold
it?
on.
Oh, 7 or each around.
Yeah. No, I'm very aware that all my fat rolls are on show all the time in videos, so I'm just trying to make it look less rolly than normal.
Speaking of fat rolls, what's for dinner?
Thank you. Well, as you know, in case you didn't know, it was your birthday yesterday.
I was aware.
Yeah. Great. Well, we're keeping this in because I have no idea where this is going. Anyway, it was your birthday yesterday, was it not?
It was,
And I know you like a burger.
I do.
And that's normally what you have on the bank. So, as I did the food shop yesterday, because you were so useless to getting your own food, I've got you a salad.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. A simple one at that.
Well, it matches you.
A simple side salad.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm only joking. I've got a pot noodle as well.
We got burgers and Wagyu burgers at that.
Wagyu with some extra mature cheddar, thick and burger melts.
Tesco.
You're a bit of a simple melt as well.
Someone's doing very well.
And not only that, something I didn't show you earlier.
What's that?
Pudding. Do you like good? Or are you weird?
Yeah, no, I do.
Well, be a bit more appreciative then, please.
I went for it.
Yeah, I was like, really lackluster.
Oh, okay.
And you're not having well, actually. I didn't like that reaction. And also some potato salad.
Ooh.
That's better. And reggae.
No, I do like it.
Say, behave. That's banging. That is reggae jerk barbecue. So there we are. That is today's lunch. Tomorrow I got some pan of chocolate for breakfast.
Yeah.
And then it is pot noodle and crisps for the rest of the day. But
It'll keep us going, won't it?
plate and all.
Oh, thanks. I mean, it's my plate.
Well, after a hard day's work, believe it or not, we have worked very hard today for absolutely no reward, which is upsetting. But that was a fish. Look around the right side, the same line as where my rods are. But rods are out, bait's out, feeling confident.
It feels good.
Confident. Yeah.
It feels good to put tonight. Like, it's quite warm. Like, it just feels right.
Yeah, I think the reason that we're feeling a bit despondent is we have put a lot of effort in, and there was also a lad here earlier next door that had only done the morning till about, 2 o'clock in the afternoon? And had 11 or 12 fish.
Something like that, up to mid-20s, so...
So we've got him as the base mark. If he
But
wasn't here, then it wouldn't have been too bad, because
It does say that fish are catchable.
Yes.
They are moving. Like, it's a good time of year to be hitting them, and...
What does it say about us?
Hmm?
Well, what does that say about us?
That we're just poor anglers. One literally just showed on.
Oh, I have actually got a rod there, though.
Like, it proper head and shouldered out.
Oh, it's kicking off. Right, let's have these burgers.
Yeah,
and
get some
hopefully-
food down, because we're going to have a sleepless night. Mainly because of the road behind us.
Mainly because of the road.
Fish are irrelevant here. So, I shot up because I saw a fish show over the right-hand side, and that's the rod that I've been moving about throughout the course of the day. And it was like a good distance, it was a good show, so I thought, I'm going to move that straight onto it. But as I ran to the rod, I had a couple of beeps on the left rod. And I thought, I must have just been a liner or something. And then I could just see the line moving, like, just at the tip. Like, the angle was just changing where the line was. So then I reeled into it. Reeled quite a bit, didn't really feel anything. And then, yeah, just hit some sort of resistance where it's obviously kited back. Like, back towards me. And, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of bream in it, but I think from the way it's biting, it is not a bream. It came in relatively easily, but then it's been up a bit of a fight. Joe, you got to watch that coat. He's going for our dinner.
I was just thinking, your storytelling is almost on par with 𝗃𝗄𝗃𝗃.
I think so.
I mean, I was captivated with that description of what had just gone on.
Yeah. I think most people are. We'll probably see a dip in the analytics.
When you started so.
Oh, yeah, he looks all right.
We knew this was going to happen. The light is getting dark.
Yeah. But I'd rather it happen when it gets dark than not happen at all.
Right. As much as I'd like to continue filming you, those Wagyu burgers are going to be burning.
Yeah, don't ruin the burgers. Well, when we got here, we heard rumours of a 44.
And this isn't that.
This is not that. No, this is the 4.
Where's the other 40 gone?
Yeah.
It's a fish. That's the main thing.
It is a fish. Come on. They definitely put up a scrap, though. Even if it is a 4-pounder.
Are you going to say that old cliche? Well, the hard fighters in there.
They are. 𝗃𝗶𝗆𝗿, a nice forgiving tip. The rod's quite nice too. Here he comes. We've got a job.
The Ronnie King strikes again.
Yeah, you can stop that.
Should we have our burgers?
Yeah.
You can rest.
Well, after having a pretty frustrating day and afternoon, this evening has definitely taken a turn with not 2, but 3 bites in quick succession. So, as I was trying to get photos and a little bit of video of the first common that I had, the same rod that I had that common on, I put back out and resulted in a second common. This one's definitely bigger, probably say an upper double, but as I was playing this one, Curly's rod also went, so we were playing both rods, or we were both playing a fish, separate fish, at the same time, in the dark. Luckily, it didn't tangle, so I'm going to slip this one back, and then we can get Curly's out as well. But that has taken a right old turn. Proper cool common, this one. Just a shame it's not during daylight so you can appreciate it properly, but yeah, right result.
Well, there we go, the first fish for me. After Luke had 2 bites on the trot in pretty quick succession, I was wondering if it was going to be a bit of a one-sided session. It may still continue to be, but as he was playing that one, probably only 15 seconds into his fight, my middle rod, which is one of the 2 that's out on a baited patch, absolutely ripped off. There's a bit of confusion thinking he might have wiped it out to start with, but we were definitely playing 2 separate fish when the lines were facing different directions. And this one slipped into net as the third one landed for the trip. First mirror, probably around the 12-pound mark. Very welcome. As a lorry goes past with a whistle that sounded like an alarm, it's time to slip this one back, get the rods back out, and see if we can continue into the night. Happy days. Well, last night was extremely quiet. We started to see fish show just on dark. Really, you saw we had that quick succession of fish. And we thought, here we go, it's going to be quite a manic night. But that was it.
It wasn't manic at all.
No.
So we both got a pretty good night's sleep.
Yeah, as good as you can do with the A12 next to you. But
yeah,
a couple of earbuds and then my receiver on full whack. I actually managed to sleep okay, but that could be to do with the fact that this is my first night away from home since having my first child. Yeah. And similar story for you.
Yeah, I mean, my child's got 4 legs and is full of fur, but
terrible medical condition.
Yeah, it's awful. But it's a cat, just to... It's a
think people knew that.
So yeah, it was nice to have a good night's sleep, but obviously we're here to catch fish, and luckily we did this morning, didn't we?
And really bizarre as well, because last night we had 2 fish at the same time, completely different parts of the lake, and this morning I had taken my left rod, which actually moved just off the tree to my left. Yeah. And by the time I got out to a rod and looked round, so Luke was actually playing a fish, and you've been playing one for about 5 seconds.
Yeah, it was literally like seconds. I picked up the rod, next thing I know, Joe's rod was going. Mm-hmm. It was weird. And actually, the guy on the far bank, I saw a head torch come on for him. So I think he was playing fish. So within 30 seconds, there was 3 bites on the lake.
So a 6 a.m. wake-up call, which is pretty much what my little daughter is doing at the moment anyway. So much for a better night's sleep. We didn't get a lie in. But then this morning has been okay as well. So those 2 fish, obviously, that you had a nice, was it?
22 and a half.
22 and a half, it wasn't.
Yeah, so really nice. Had a slate grey type mirror, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think before then. So yeah, that's the biggest one so far this session, isn't it?
Yeah, but I had quite a cool little common. It was, again, not as big as Luke's one, but it was probably around the 13, 14 pound mark. Really funky scales on one side. One side was a perfect regimented common, as you expect, but the other one, they were sort of a bit higgledy-piggledy, which was quite interesting.
But it didn't look like damaged, did it? It's not like it had been damaged and healed. It was just, I guess, a natural kind of
had a different little defect to it.
But it didn't stop there. So quite soon after that, after we'd done all the video of them fish, my left rod actually went again. So
good old Ronnies.
Good old Ronnies. So I was playing this fish for, 10 minutes, probably?
Getting close to it, yeah.
Close to 10 minutes. Saw it multiple times, right in the margin. Took its, first few breaths of air and gulps of air, that sort of thing. Just about to net it. Hook pinged out. So that was annoying. But that's 4 bites in a relatively short space of time.
Yeah.
6 bites in total between us. So yeah, it's promising. It's looking good for a few more bites this morning.
And the reason we're filming this in the bivvy is because it's been disgusting weather all morning. We've had like a 5-minute window. It's just still drizzling while we film the fish, and the rest of it has just been pretty much solid rain. So
yeah, it's been tense weather going forward, so isn't it? But it's staying overcast, it's staying warm. I mean, I say that, I'm in a jumper and coat and a t-shirt, but it is relatively warm for this time of year. So hopefully, you know, there's bait out there, rods are out. Hopefully there's still more to come.
Fingers crossed. And you may have noticed throughout this whole video, there's a lot of Daiwa kit in shot, and that's because this video is brought to you by Daiwa. They've supplied us with all the rods, reels, some luggage items, nets, slings, you name it. So it's really nice to be using their kit and actually putting them to the test. But if you want to know a bit more in depth about the rods and reels we're using, there will be a following video on the rods and reels a bit more in depth, probably in about a week's so's time. So keep your eyes peeled for that if you want to know a bit more. But for now, we're just simply enjoying using them.
All right, make our tea now.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I couldn't let Luke have all the fun at the end of the session, and I've managed to winkle out one more. And it's managed to actually be the biggest of the trip. Now, the rods are still out for the last few hours while we finish up bits and pieces, but for you guys, this is likely to be the last, unless we do manage to have some nicer ones. Get in here then, Luke. It's been a nice little trip.
It's been a really good trip,
Been a long time since you've just gone fishing and not been a versus. Good job it wasn't, because I think you would have just pipped it.
I think it would. We're not adding up weights because this is not a versus. We're just going fishing and enjoying it.
This one at 24.
Good trip, isn't it?
It was just the biggest. So at least I've still got that one to go on. You've had the most. I'll have the biggest.
It's still time. It's still time whilst we pack away. But yeah, thanks for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, then make sure you subscribe. And like we said earlier, this is brought to you by Daiwa. So we're going to be going through all the rods and reels and nets and spod kit that we've been using in a separate video. So make sure you can check that one out as well.
Okay.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
I was going to say see you in the next one. You always do it so I don't do an outro.
Well, you don't really need to.
Go do some photos.